Hi, this is Roxy. As you know, we were recently working on a shop in Ohio, and we decided that for a lot of different reasons that it just wasn't really what we wanted to do. So Ray decided to take another contract with machining, and we are now in Florida. And we are working towards our original goal, which was to go to Mexico and South America and drive the Pan American Highway. So today we are headed down to Loxahatchee, Florida, where we rented a garage space with a lift so that we can start working on fixing the Jeep and getting it ready to go to South America and Mexico. So we have to we have a couple of extra engines. One of them I think we're selling if we can manage, and then the other one is currently in the back of the Jeep, and we have to get it out of the back of the Jeep, and we have to remove the engine from the front of the Jeep and scrap it and sell some of the parts that are on there, and then we'll clean up and rebuild the engine that's in the back of the Jeep and put it in the front of the Jeep. It's not the engine we'd like to put in, but at this point it's our choice that we have because we already have it and the Jeep is already set up for gas. Ray would like to change it to diesel, but we just can't do that right now. So I'm trying to get rid of some of the wind here. There.
There's a window, sorry.
So last weekend we went down there and unloaded the Jeep from our trailer, our black trailer, car hauler trailer, and we just got the extra engine out, and that's pretty much all we did. So
the engine that's in the back of the Jeep it's the same as the original engine that's in the Jeep. It's just low miles, but it's got enough miles on it. I'm going to replace all the seals and throw a head gasket in it and timing chain, stuff like that, just because it's out and it's easy to do. So it's just the 4-liter that comes in the Jeep is not very fuel efficient. It is reliable. There's people who will argue that, but it is reliable to the point that you can beat the ever-living crap out of them and they just keep going. The problem with it is, lifted Jeep on 38s, geared or not, it only gets about 10 miles a gallon on a good day with a tailwind. So that's one of the reasons why I like to repower the Jeep. Hopefully to a diesel, probably to a diesel. It's just, I don't know, that's still up in the air. We have options with that. Which you get, and if you get into that, some people will scream, oh, the Ford Big-T Cummins. Well, the Ford Big-T Cummins weighs 750 pounds. It's a heavy engine. And then some people will say, hey, what about a TDI diesel? Which we do have one of those. I can't talk to a spark plug, imagine that. Come here, boy. And
it's kind of rough.
We do have access to one of those. They're a little bit more involved as far as the engine itself. And then some people say, hey, why don't you just LS swap it? Which, everybody's done that. There's a million places to get parts. There's tons of aftermarket support and knowledge, which is true, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. I would prefer a diesel for that low end torque, because we'll still be off-roading it here and there. When we're not overlanding, we'll still be off-roading it and stuff like that when we're stateside. So it kind of has to fit check a lot of different boxes. A lot of people with their Jeeps, they want an off-roader. Some people want a daily driver. Some people want an overlander. Mine has to check all those boxes. Now, it's not going to check any one of them perfectly. I suppose it probably could with a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what's the best option for us, for all the different things we want to do. We want to boost our fuel economy. I don't need a crazy ton of horsepower. It's a Jeep, not a race car. I do need a lot of torque. And then reliability too. You can put all kinds. Reliability, along with reliability, is support, whether it be knowledge support or parts support. You're in the middle of nowhere in Argentina. I'm going to have trouble getting, Mercedes 5-liter V8 parts. You have trouble getting those stateside. So there's a lot of cool engines out there that would be really cool to put in there, but they're not viable when you're in the middle of nowhere. And going diesel, I would really like it to be a fully mechanical diesel, or as mechanical as possible. I don't want to do a common rail just for the extra involvement from ECUs and stuff like that. That I just don't want to have to deal with those headaches. And then one option that's out there is the Cummins R2.8, which is a repower engine that they developed for just this type of purpose, and it does come with a warranty. It is a Cummins, so it's a reliable. Its power and torque output is really adequate to what we need. There may be days when we wouldn't have the power we need, but most of the time it would be just fine. The but to that is, and there is dealer support throughout, I think, most of the world, but there's a lot of wires on that thing. A lot of things could go wrong, and if it's either a mechanical diesel or the Jeep engine that's in there, or even an LS, that stuff's pretty simple. I know how to work on those. Those are the platforms that if I start having an issue, I probably have a good idea what the problem is before it even stops running and we're stopped on the side of the road. But also being able to get parts. Again, being in the middle of nowhere and trying to get some kind of crazy part for an engine that is never sold in that country. Yeah, you can forget that. I've heard nightmare stories about some people trying to get parts.
So this is Florida. It is March. There is no snow. There is no ice. It is hot and a little on the muggy side. It's beautiful. Awesome. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's clear. There have been a couple of major thunderstorms since we got here, but it's just so wonderful to be here. And then this is Kiara, my baby, my German Shepherd, and this is Sparkplug, our two little sidekicks. Unfortunately, we lost our other dog, Carl,
Mr. Carl,
last summer.
Yeah, he was 15.
He was 15 years old, and we lost him, so he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But
we miss him.
We do miss him, and so, yep. So, what part of Florida are we in?
I'm working in Stuart, which is north. We're basically a couple hours north of Miami on the eastern coast. We're between Miami and Daytona.
And tell us about your job.
About my job. Well, not to get too specific. I'm a machinist. I've been a machinist for 30 years now. And I work for a third-party company that contracts me out to different companies. They, if a customer has a huge backlog, or they have a need for people that they need people to put on the ground right now, and hit the ground running, and that's kind of where my company comes in and provides people to do that. We've already been vetted That's up to us. Also, if they offer an extension, we don't have to take it, but it gives us a chance to move around all around the country. I've always said too, you know, you can travel to different places for you know, a week or two, and you can think you get the feeling of a place or understand the place or experience the culture. It's not the same until you've been there for months. Because even now, I've been here for 4 weeks. I think this is my 4th week, or I just finished the 4th week. And yeah, I'm still learning how people are here. Every state is a little bit different with their drivers, and I'll tell you what, Florida, you're a winner, Seth.
Yeah, I thought California drivers were bad, but man, Florida drivers are something. The worst, you've got all these little race cars, these fancy little tuners.
Yeah, that one's just a regular car, but yeah, these guys, you get a bunch of these guys, you know, and you know, I was the same way when I was in my early 20s. You want to put whatever hunk of junk you're driving, you want to make it as fast as possible. And nowadays it's all the little 4-cylinder cars, and everybody thinks they're, you know, Toretto on Fast and Furious, and it's fine. I don't have any issues with it. Some of these guys make some crazy power in these little cars, but other guys, not so much. They just make a lot of noise, and they think they can, you know, they're driving a Honda like it's an F1 car, and they cut you off a lot. They run stop signs a lot.
You constantly see these little speed demon cars being pulled over by the police or in car accidents. Like, I've seen so many car accidents with these little rich kid expensive cars, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, how many times have they tried to, like, I mean, not tried, but actually cut me off just since I've been here? It's just ridiculous. So
everybody knows the moniker that BMW drivers have, to where, you know, they think they're too good for turn signals. The Tesla drivers in Florida, they must have had BMWs before they bought their Tesla. They do not use turn signals. They cut you off. Just some crazy stuff. They cut you off and then hit their brakes. That's an awesome one. But yeah, Florida, so far you're in first place.
Definitely.
Still love Florida though.
Definitely
Florida's
the
awesome.
worst drivers I have ever seen.
Like here, I'm going as fast as I can because of this guy in front of me. The guy in the Jeep up there, oh, he thinks he's a race car driver. A lot of that.
Yeah.
There is so much of that. And seeing how they're driving like that, I'm just trying to get into a lane where there's space, and I'll get back over here and I'm just going to stay out of the way if they're going to drive like that. This seems like, to some people, might seem like a lot of traffic. When I come home from work, this is packed. Both sides.
Yeah, this is nothing compared to what I'm used to in California, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, but this traffic does move.
Yeah.
This traffic will be bumper to bumper, but doing 85.
Right. Well, sometimes California traffic moves at 85.
This is
bumper to bumper.
95 when people move.
Yeah.
They are not slow boats. I'll give them that. They do not mess around.
Yeah. They definitely drive fast here. So, yeah, so far it's been pretty nice. I walked through the Atlantic Ocean just a little bit the other night, so that was cool. I'm a Pacific Ocean girl. It's my first time being in the Atlantic. We went to a nice dinner at a cute little restaurant, Tiki Bar or whatever.
It's called Archie's.
It's called Archie's. And then went to the beach. And that was our 6-month wedding anniversary, so that was very cool.
Didn't even know till I told you.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I didn't know until I did the math sitting there.
Yeah. So that was on the 14th. We got married on September 14th. So very cool. Yep. So anyways, this is Florida. Very green, lush. I learned this week that Florida is Spanish for flowery. So Florida is a flowery state. There's lots of different kinds of flowers here.
There's way more types of palm trees than I knew there were existing.
Tons of different kinds of palm trees. It's funny, we're talking about these things and there's none around us.
Oh yeah, there is.
Oh, there are?
There's a bunch of them in this woods here.
Oh, I see the
There's
little
some
short
there.
ones. Yeah. I see those
They're
little short
mixed
ones.
in,
Yeah, so they're different
and they're everywhere.
and
so
they're everywhere.
obviously they're natural here.
Yeah. So it's pretty gorgeous out.
A lot of pines too. I'm surprised how many pines there are.
Absolutely amazingly beautiful day. And the temperature outside is
88.
88 degrees
A little bit of humidity.
on March the
15.
15th, 16th, March the 16th,
2025.
2025. So this is also the furthest south I have ever been in my life. That's cool. I've been as far north as St. Petersburg, Russia, and actually Helsinki, Finland, maybe even a little further north than that. So this is cool to go this far south, and it'll be even cooler when we get to South America and Mexico. So, yep, that is our update, and that is our life. This is Chicken on the Road, and we are excited to be back on the road and traveling and going places we have never been before. Looking forward to a grand adventure here in Florida.